talk to you a little bit about hope. So Sam works with a lot of families. Sam, you can tell us a little bit about like the capacity that you work with people, and then like for parents who feel like, okay, I need hope. I need to know if things can work. Like I feel like things take too long, or we try things and spin our wheels, or blah blah, and it's always back to the drawing board. And so, go for it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think that, we spend so much time. We have an executive function class that we do, right? So I have a lot of really direct feedback, like you do, Seth, where I get to work with kids and raise your hand if you struggle with this. And I'm always the first to put my hand up. And I think that we've spent so much time comparing ourselves and thinking that there's like this ideal standard and that we just keep thinking tomorrow will be better. One thing that we were talking about today, which I think is such an important one, is just like time blindness, time estimates, fudge ratios, just thinking like every day is going to be different and then every day is kind of a letdown and it can be really overwhelming. And just helping kids think like, hey, there are ways that we can get really good reads. There are ways that we can find things that will work for you. And it's going to be a journey and we're going to enjoy it, just like trying on a hat that you really want to buy. I think that making like a little pivot, like we're going to just try it. It's like trying on a jersey you really want to own. Because it hasn't worked before, doesn't mean that it won't work. We just need to figure out where is it not working and how can we make some changes around you, for you, by you, and enjoy the process and kind of gamify it a little bit. And I think that is hope instilling rather than hope sucking, if that makes sense. A lot of the times we feel drained because we think I'm bad, and then it's just like this slippery slope. And I struggle with it. I struggle with it too. It's tough.
And one of the things that people ask of often when they're looking and when they would listen to something like this, well, they'll ask me this. I bet they ask you this too. Is this sort of they're looking for a real answer, but I know that you and I would answer this, and I think probably all the experts here answer it similarly in terms of saying, there's not there's not like a concrete answer to this, but people say, how long will it take? So as far as they're looking for hope, and they say to you, well, how long is it going to take? Because they want to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. How do you respond to that one?
I say it's a journey. This is something you're putting your arm around. It's like anything in psychology, right? If someone has anxiety or depression, it's like we're going to share strategies and we're going to put our arm around this thing and walk forward together, right? We're going to go on a journey together. And it's a part of who we are, right? And another thing we talk about a lot is like, hey, these are, you're playing with wet cement right now. So the earlier that we can mold the cement, the less it takes, so to speak, right? So, but it's a lifelong journey, and I tell kids all the time, it's a really kind of attractive way to do this. Like, I didn't learn this until I was in college, and I want you not to struggle. But the truth is, that's my mission. Like, I didn't understand there was a difference between, the knowing and the doing, and felt stupid most of my life. So I think that there isn't necessarily like a silver bullet everybody wants, right? Like, just download this document and you'll be great. Like, it doesn't work that way, but we can try different things, and I think that if we keep trying, keep iterating, and realize it's not so much how long it takes, it's about when you intervene, when you start talking about executive functions, when you give your kid permission to understand the difference between knowing and doing, and then when you help your kiddo start to have room to make mistakes, to try things, because that's the best kind of EF learning, I think. Like, okay, that didn't work. We didn't turn it in. I forgot. What can we do now? Where did it go wrong? It's not that you didn't do it, it's that we didn't remember to do it. Or we did it but didn't turn it in. Ah, okay, that's a way different challenge. Let's roll our sleeves up and unpack that, right? And then we can kind of, tailor it up or down age appropriateness.
Yeah, and then also along the lines of that same question, just diving deeper into that, like how long does it take? It's very context dependent. It depends on the age of the kid. It depends on how much buy-in there is. If there's a lot of buy-in, then and your kid really wants these skills, really wants things to be easier, and is really ready to apply things, that's vastly different than if there's no buy-in, because then how long it takes. You're at a stage where you're just trying to get buy-in. You're trying to build relationship. You're trying to work with your kid feeling good about themselves and finding value in education and being able to be heard, both of you, your kid hearing you hearing, like you're at a very different place. And then once they start like implementing things, we see changes usually within in about 6 weeks. Like there's there starts to be a lot of tiny things, but then they add up, and at about that point, 6 or 8 weeks, people say, "Whoa, we're making some decent
Hmm.
momentum here." But then it's still it can plateau for it's like you said, it's a journey. This is yeah.
It's not linear. And I have a saying I call ISA, which is interest, strength, and authenticity. How authentic is the thing that we're doing? Does it really matter, or is it homework or busy work, right? I'm sorry, parents, if you're thinking that, wait, homework does matter. I know it does, but I mean to your kid. Then strength, is it in their strength area? And then interest, is it something that's aligned with their interests? I don't love emails. They're really difficult for me. I have dyslexia and ADHD, and my brain moves fast. And I had a student that I worked with for years at Young Scholars Academy. And I told him, I said, Stephen, emails are so hard for me, but do you know what? Every time I get one, I realize that may very well be a family that's going to join our community, and I'm pretty good at them because it means we grow, we thrive, we help, we serve, all these things that are so important to me. And then this student who always fell apart in high school got a job, and he was never late for a day. And I said, Stephen, how are you getting to work on time? How are you remembering? What's going on? He's like, well, you know all the stuff we learned, but now I get paid. It's authentic, right? Kids are going to do the stuff when they know it matters, when it aligns with their strengths, when there's real world elements. So introducing, like you said, Seth, like introducing the stuff really early, being patient, seeing that there will be moments where sometimes it's not even about improving, it's about slowing the regression. Right, it's about just
That's
tapering
it.
off like the struggles, right? That is progress, right? And just altering the downtrend. And when it comes to we don't get to see, it's not linear. You might have a kid who's building tons of momentum. They're almost like supercharging, and then they just like blast out later, and you just don't know when it's going to happen.
Right on. Well, thank you, Sam. We're going to sign off here. Thank you, parents. We're at TFOSExecutiveFunctionSummit.com. Our $99 75% off sale ends at midnight tonight, Pacific. So check that out, the VIP Pass. It's a fantastic resource that you can use when things are, when you're struggling with things throughout the whole school year, and proactively to like deepen learning. And so anyhow, Sam, thank you so much.
Thank you, Seth. Can I throw my hat into the ring about the offer real quick, or is that?
Yeah.
I just want to say, parents, that buying TFOS is the greatest decision you can make, that being here is like drinking out of a fire hose. There is so much value. And then later on when you need it, it's nice to be able to break the glass and have it, right? Just to be able to pull it out, access, maybe watch a video a week or set a calendar reminder or something like that. So I would definitely, I speak at TFOS and I buy it every year. I can't recommend it highly enough. And the families in our virtual village at Young Scholars Academy do the same. So I say this from the bottom of my heart. I get no money for this, and I just hope that you do it, because this is the kind of stuff where you're getting all the year's advice at once, and it's almost too much at once. So you want to be able to time release it over the year and be able to access it when you need it.
Thanks for saying it. Yeah, that's the two-way. People dive into it over and over, and then they use it when things come up. So, all right, Sam, take care, everybody. Thanks, Sam. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.